Last time on Shadow Piece, the battle between the Titanic captain Jesus Burgess, member of the Blackbeard Pirates and the user of the Strong Fruit, and Bronya of the Strawhat Pirates, user of the Metal Fruit, started. It all began with a punch from the female pirate, making Burgess interested in her already. He was known for having an island of women just for himself, where all of his children with all these women lived. Not all of these women were there willingly, but a pirate of his might didn't care about that. After all, he never claimed to be a good person. The fact that he was a cannibal that ate all kinds of other species further drilled down that point. Just after that one attack, he was certain that he wanted Bronya to be another mother for his children. The fact that she would be his first giant wife made her all the more enticing. However, seeing as she wasn't ready to just go with him, he would have to defeat her first. The first attack he landed on his opponent was a simple punch he performed after blocking another of her attacks. The force of his punch was anything but simple though. Bronya spurted out blood from the impact, an amount so big that it even made her worry despite being a hardened warrior. As the Titanic captain continued his attack with a dropkick, she had an easy time countering him and unleashed a series of techniques on him. Heavy metal guillotine, heavy metal meteor shower, world breaker. These three attacks changed the island's structure and buried Jesus Burgess deep into the ground. And yet, he never stopped laughing. That stupid "wee ha 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 ha" kept ringing in the ears of the female giant. After her will breaker attack was finished for a fleeting moment, it seemed impossible that anything could have survived such devastation. And then, from somewhere, deep in the shattered earth, a low, ragged laugh began to echo. I'm so hard right now. Bronya's face contorted. Just hearing the voice of the human, even if covered by her heavy breathing, made her feel nervous. How was he still alive? Or at least, how was he still conscious? And to top it all off, how was he still laughing? Despite all of that, she still brought out the question that was on her mind. You mean that I was so hard right now, right? Her voice was shaky. The singular punch of Jesus Burgess left her hurt, and then her barrage of attacks had used up a lot of her remaining stamina. The fighting champion finally decided to come out of the hole he was forced inside and just pointed at Bronya confidently. I said what I said, babe. I'm so hard right now. You kept pushing me deeper and deeper into the hole. Man, that was so sexy. Out of the Titanic captains, Burgess was the one that could withstand the most damage. He probably even surpassed Blackbeard in that regard. Despite him bleeding all over and having coughed out blood, he was actually completely fine. In fact, as he dusted himself off and stood up straight, Bronya could only look at him in surprise. What kind of... At first she wasn't sure what was going on, but then it clicked. After all, she had also eaten one. Oh, I see. You're also a devil fruit user. But if all yours does is make you grow taller as you take damage... No, she didn't even need to finish that sentence. It was obvious that even if that was the only thing his devil fruit did, he was a formidable foe. With a quick step in, she went for another punch on the now over 10 meters tall wrestler. And just like always, he just received it, with no regards to his own safety. Now that she knew about his power, she noticed the change in his body instantly, even if it was minor from a single punch of hers. His muscles tensed for a second, and then stretched as his body grew another tiny bit. No need to make it a secret. I can tell a beauty like you what kind of fruit I ate. He laughed as he pulled back his right arm for a punch of his own. However, Bronya jumped backwards to gain distance. Oh, that's no fun. Do you not want to receive my punch full with all of my desires for you? Burgess wasn't taking this seriously. He had defeated Ors with ease, and while Bronya was stronger than the ancient giant zombie, he wasn't scared of her. Okay, so let me tell you what my fruit is all about. Those were his words, but at the same time, in a rather slow speed, he dashed towards Bronya. Her own quick movements made it easy to dodge these lazily thrown punches, but each of them carried the power of a bomb. I ate the strong fruit. Another punch. This time, as if to accentuate his strength, he put more energy behind it and made the area around them shake easily. It might sound simple, but it doesn't just make me stronger. It is a fruit that can only show its true powers when it is consumed by a person that can withstand anything and everything. And such a person exists only once in this world, and that's me. This time he picked up one of the huge buildings in the area and threw it straight at Bronya. His incredible might made the building used as a projectile weapon vanish. That was how fast it was zooming through the air. The Strawhat pirate could barely turn her body into metal to reduce the damage, as all of the bricks shattered around her. The force also pushed her backwards. Right after eating the fruit, the user gets around 10 times stronger, which if consumed by a human makes them only as strong as an average fishman. No care in the world. He wasn't the brightest person, but after listening to the explanation of his crewmates countless of times, this information was ingrained in his muscle brain. And only once you awaken the strong fruit will it turn into the strongest and most dangerous devil fruit in the world. Many had claimed that their devil fruits were the most powerful, that they could destroy the world or whatever, but Burgess truly believed that his statement held true for that power that he owned now. As if they were tiny toys, he kept chucking buildings at Bronya and continued closing the distance between the two of them. With my awakening, I gained the ability to grow stronger endlessly, and the simple method to do that was to get hurt again and again and again. The warrior from Elbaf couldn't move away because of the barrage of long-range attacks, and when she felt a hand around her ankle, it was already too late. No struggle at all, Jesus Burgess lifted her up into the air and slammed her straight down into the ground again. Every single time I get hurt by someone, I absorb a tiny bit of the damage they did to me as an increase to my own strength, and it also results in my body growing so that it can house the rise in power. The exact increase in strength needed for his body to grow was unknown, but he had already understood that the same level of damage would not result in growth forever, so he needed to fight against stronger and stronger opponents to keep on growing. That was exactly the reason why he was the Blackbeard pirate that spent the least amount of time on Hachinosu. Instead, he always traveled around the world to fight against all kinds of people, challenge entire armies by himself to see if quantities of attacks could replace quality of attacks. But he learned that actual powerful attacks were the way to go. Oars, with the Shadow of Hyrule, only offered minor increases. Bronya, on the other hand, managed to catch his interest in more ways than one. If she wasn't powerful, he wouldn't have considered making her one of his wives, but that thought didn't mean he would go easy on her. He had mated with women before after breaking their legs and arms. Slam after slam into the ground, he just laughed. Come on, invader, why don't you try a bit harder to show me how you are going to defeat the strongest man in the world? After he had enough of just raising her into the sky for another crash down, Burgess decided to throw Bronya against a nearby mountain. I am walking slowly towards you. He described exactly what he was doing as he knew his opponent was covered in the rubble at the moment. Just a few more steps away from you. Do you want to do something? You should do it now. There was no stopping him. As short of his own victory, he stopped before the spot he had thrown her at. For just a moment, he even considered that she had lost consciousness or simply had given up, but that was a mistake. Her entire soul resided in that scream, as she had thrust her hand straight into the mountain she had collided with, and with pure relentless force ripped it out of the ground to use it as a hammer to crush her enemy. That action even took Burgess by surprise, but just like always, he had no intention of even trying to dodge. He simply stood there, ready to take the full damage. He was a man that didn't fear death. Death feared him, as he had been on the brink of it so many times that he was a close acquaintance with the Grim Reaper. Bring it on, giant beauty. Smash that mountain as hard onto me as you can, before I smash you as hard as I want. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, we are continuing. And Burgess, holy shit. He is such an asshole. I really like his character. I really like writing him because it's just, he's an asshole, but he continues to grow stronger. He doesn't dodge attacks. And it's also my explanation why he just keeps on going. Like, he went to freaking Sabo and fought against them. He went to attack the freaking revolutionary army. He does not care about that all because he just is like, I know I will not die, but it will make me stronger. And that is his whole attitude for the situation. The one question here is, will Bronya's attack with the entire mountain as a hammer be enough to defeat him? Or how will it continue in the next episode of Shadow Piece? Well, you have to find out in the next week. But for now, that's all from me for today. All left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!